Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Sioux Falls police are investigating an armed robbery that sent a truck stop employee to the hospital.
At 4:20 Thursday morning, two men in black hooded sweatshirts attempted to steal alcohol from the Cubby's convenience store on West 12th Street. Police say the employee tried to stop them at the door.
One of the suspects used a knife and stabbed the victim in the abdomen and the stomach area. They left after that. The victim was taken to the hospital later with non-life-threatening injuries.
Police are hoping surveillance video will help them track down the thieves.
A California man named Happy is in the Cottonwood County Jail in Minnesota, facing pending charges which include murder after a New Year's Eve stabbing, which left one man dead. Happy, which the sheriff's office explained is his full legal name, was treated for his injuries before being taken to the jail. The stabbing happened at the Fat Pheasant Pub in Windom just before midnight on New Year's Eve. You can get a look at the pending charges in a KELOLAND.com original by Jacob Newton. Authorities in Minnesota are reminding people about ice safety after an ATV and fish house broke through the ice on Big Stone Lake. The Big Stone County Sheriff's Office says it happened near the Rustling Elms Resort just after 11:30 Thursday morning. An ATV pulling a fish house was trying to cross an ice heave when it broke through. The three men inside were able to get out to a nearby home. Authorities say the removal of the ATV and house is expected to take a few days. The sheriff's office says no ice is 100% safe and to avoid crossing heaves. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karsten. It's going to be a chilly weekend out there, Brian.
Yes, it is. It looks like numbers today averaging below normal, and get used to it. We've got more of that coming up in the forecast. High today, 17 in Sioux Falls, 12 degrees for Marshall, 11 in Aberdeen, 18 degrees in Pierre, and 22 for Rapid City. That's a quick look at weather, and we'll dive into the details of the weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. A popular gift for many during the holiday season is an engagement ring.
And Laurel Ridge Barn in Sioux Falls is ready to help any bride and grooms-to-be with a wedding showcase this weekend.
December 25th, obviously Christmas, New Year's Eve. So we've kind of planned this right after those two dates. We see actually the most engagements around New Year's Eve night.
The wedding showcase is Sunday from noon to 3 at the Laurel Ridge Barn, just 1 mile north of Sioux Falls on Slip Up Creek Road. You can find more tips for newly engaged couples under this story on KELOLAND.com.
Weddings can get expensive, which is why a local store is hosting a sale for brides. At the Bride to Bride second annual wedding rummage sale, brides can find anything from candles to decor and even wedding dresses.
Not only does it help save brides money, it also is a sustainable way to plan your wedding.
I'm really big into reusing and not putting things into landfills or places that they don't belong. So this is another great way to just kind of get this inventory to people, help them save money on their wedding, and then they get it for a really good price, and it's really fun.
Wedding dress prices start at just $25 and go up to $100. The sale is going on today and tomorrow. We posted more information on the event's time and location on KELOLAND.com.
Sioux Falls Parks and Recreation is kicking off the new year with a special run or walk through one of its parks tomorrow morning. The Frosty Fun Run is a 5K or 10K event at Riverdale Park in Sioux Falls. It's open to people of all ages, with participants running or walking the path along the Big Sioux River.
If sightseeing is more your speed, Parks and Rec is hosting a second event later in the day.
If running isn't your forte and you want to take a leisurely stroll that's guided, we do have out at Arrowhead Park, it was a snowshoe walk, but if we don't have any snow, we'll still do a hike. And our recreation staff is very knowledgeable about all the wildlife out there, so you'll get some education on all the things out at Arrowhead Park.
Registration and check-in for the Frosty Fun Run begins at 8 tomorrow morning at Riverdale Park, followed by the event at 9. The cost is $10 per participant.
The nature stroll through Arrowhead Park is free, with 1-hour walks beginning at 1, 2, and 3 p.m.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather update there. There's the winter weather advisory in effect for much of western and parts of central South Dakota. That does include Winter and Pierre. It goes all the way back toward Dupree, Timberlake, and Buffalo. So within that band, that's where we're most likely to see 2 to 5 inches of snow. There could be some numbers a little more than that simply because of the temperature being so cold. You can manufacture maybe a little more of a fluff factor there, but that's generally where we'll sit on that. Some of the counties in Nebraska I would expect would be added to some of those advisories. And already we've started the morning here with some snow in the Black Hills. And then what happens here is that area will likely regroup here tonight and into tomorrow. So snow is most likely in those areas. Sioux Falls, I think right now we'll probably avoid that subject today. Mainly some partly cloudy skies, and then the numbers after reaching about 17 in Sioux Falls will start slipping tonight into the single digits. And then there's that snow tomorrow morning. It stretches from Buffalo to Winter right through the advisory area, and it tries to expand a little east, but it's going to be finding some cold, dry air coming up out of northern Minnesota. And that's a really tough thing to overcome. So I think it's pretty well solidified that your band is going to run that northwest to southeast line. If you're within that, your travel weather will be definitely worse, not terrible, but enough here to cause, slow down, make sure you're driving for the weather. And with the fluffy snow, too, it doesn't take much on the interstate to kind of fluff that up and blow it across the road, even with only a 10 to 20 mile an hour wind. I don't think we have to deal with those really strong winds this weekend. Well, the chances of accumulating snow, again, statistically, at least 100% in Pierre and Winter. Pretty likely, obviously. Sioux Falls, not nearly that high. Maybe 10 to 20% chance of that. And then you look at the odds of getting a 3-inch snow or more. And then again, that kind of overlays really well with that advisory. So just some items there to think about as you plan your weekend. Who is going to get the worst of this weather? Well, that's easy to say. It's going to be folks south of us. Kansas and Missouri, an ice and snowstorm is likely. So if you're traveling that way, be very cautious about that. There's going to be a lot of problems into early next week, and that's going to be a headache for folks in the Ohio Valley. So our weather, I would argue, is pretty tame, really. Sioux Falls, we're just going to catch some of the light snow showers perhaps this weekend, then highs in the low to mid-teens. And then we get into next week, we're going to be below normal. We'll be in the low to mid-teens. Overnight lows in the single digits, above and below 0. Aberdeen in the northeast, a high of 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Overall, the chance of snow in Aberdeen is still pretty low for accumulations here at least. And then I would argue there by the end of the forecast, we start to moderate a little bit. And Pierre, after a cold and snowy weekend, will be near 10 degrees by Monday and Tuesday. And with the fresh snow on the ground, easy to see temperatures below 0. I really would like to favor that. And also Rapid City will be plenty chilly with mid-teens this weekend and then low 20s early next week. Find out more details on the weather online at KENNELLAND.com.